Nope. Um. Okay, my mouse just died.
That's a great intro to a workshop. I love that.
Okay, the corners are still working. Come on, come on,
Crazy.
come on. A little more. There we go. Yep, it worked.
Oh, you're at grandma's place again.
Yep, she just went
I,
down for her nap or sleeping or.
I love that. I love that every time I feel like you angle it just slightly differently, so I get a different sort of view of the
Yeah,
yard.
no, it's the same table. I'm just jumping around.
It's awesome. Oh, I love that. I have got nothing but good things to say about what you sent me this week. Hang tight. Let me just bring it.
Quick question: did I send you a slight update? I slightly updated the beginning just so there
Okay.
wouldn't be this disconnect between chapter 16 and 17.
Okay, nice.
Okay, so I didn't send you that.
Just
It wasn't a big change. It was like minor change.
very, very nice. Well, do you mind if I just hit it from the top?
Sure, let's go.
Easily the best thing I think that you've now let me be clear what I mean by this. It's the best thing you've ever written that you've sent me. Um in its totality. There may have been other chapters that were more suspenseful or exciting for me because I let you know that but in terms of from a writing point of view, it's well structured. You can
Okay,
see
that's
everything
supposed to be
I've got
so
there.
far down there. Sorry.
What's that, sorry?
Uh,
I wondered
yeah.
about that. Yeah, yeah. The only real critique is just watch for repetitious words is the main
Yeah.
thing. Very little editing you can see. I'll just scroll through here. There's virtually no red. There's few little things, few little suggestions,
Is the
mostly in the
caps
area.
for their speeches okay? Because I wasn't sure how to like denominate that they were talking like more growly because they're
Yeah.
bunch of wolves
So
now.
Charlie growled as a so there's two answers. I have two answers for you. The proper publisher preferred way is you would never capitalize words like this. Having said that, there is an increasing volume. I see it all the time because I read fiction for all ages. I have to, partly because I have kids and partly because I teach this stuff. And I see that in certainly YA fiction or a lot of things, that are graphic novelty, you see more and more of this. So I think the rules are sort of mid shift in some ways. I don't know which, would apply this to every
So if
role.
I'm going for a book author, no. If I'm going for Royal Road, probably fine.
You're probably fine for Royal Road, depending on what you want. It depends on what you're platforming. So if you're just wanting to get your stuff up, that's fine. If you're wanting people to see it secondarily as a sample of your writing and know that you follow the rules, I mean, I'll always err on the side of, when it comes to writing, being a little more conservative. I would rather err on the side of doing it the proper way, just because I have no idea who's going to see this, and I'd rather not shoot myself in the foot if a publisher goes, I love his style. Too bad he doesn't know how to capitalize. Next. So I would hate for that to happen. Having said that, yes, Royal Road, and yes, I mean, any kind of public platform fiction, not, yeah, whatever you want to do there, I would still tend to not capitalize on it. But you go, yes, sir. Charlie growled. It would be more in the verb and the adjective that would convey what we're supposed to
Oh,
think.
oh no, I that wasn't supposed to be capped. That was just supposed to be like yes sir, like military, yes sir.
Fair. Then you would definitely just lowercase that. Yeah.
Okay.
Same here with shit. Where are we here? I didn't highlight that one. Um, But again, I've seen both. Like I've seen caps and all caps and I've seen
For,
not all
for
caps.
me, if it's all caps, then the person's basically shouting. They're shouting at that point.
Yeah, I mean, give it a try. Give it a try. See what people think. But in terms of, and I'll be very specific, it's well structured, it's logical, the dialogue is strong. It's very action packed, and it was very lean, very crisp. I never felt like it was dragging. I never felt like I was like, oh, can we move on? I love Dick. I agree with your note in the email. Should you just like prefer to like call this chapter Big Dick? I would be totally cool with that. Um, why not make fun of the name, right? But this, yeah, Dick owns this chapter. There's no question. He is completely in charge of this. I love him in this chapter. I love Oak and Charlie in this chapter. You're giving really, really good, funny, substantial, lines, and then and just when I wondered, okay, this is great, but what new thing is it introducing? Well, the fact that the big thing for me was the response. Where are we here? You dare to attack the El Noon? Like when we're getting into, okay, this is now we're starting to get into more of what's happening and who's present and all of that stuff. So I just thought it was really, really fun, very suspenseful, built over time, and a great ending. One of your
Oh,
best endings.
I just realized I probably should have changed something. I need to change Oak's tauntauns to hatchets.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I just
Fair.
realized that.
Fair.
Yeah, well, technically he's Native American, so that makes more sense than tauntauns,
Fair
tauntaunts,
enough.
whatever the fuck they're called.
I'm just trying to think if there was anything else special. A couple of little spelling things just for consistencies. I'm not even going to get into that because I don't need to. There's another, yeah, Dick roared. It would definitely be lowercase with an exclamation point as a general rule. Same comment here at the end. I'll just get rid of that one at the end because it's the same as the beginning. Damn it, Oak, Julius, I hope you're doing better than I am. I'm like, yes, yes, yes. Like this was like A+ on this week. It was just you started strong, you ended strong. Everything in the middle was really interesting and engaging, very well written. And structurally, a little thing here, definitely would add an exclamation mark to boom. I mean, that's such a minor thing. Yeah, no, it was really good, Hayden. I was just so proud of you this week. I was so impressed. It was just, and it was fun. It was just fun to read. So well done. That's all I got. I don't have much more to add.
Okay, I'm not sure if I should be disappointed or happy.
Yeah,
Actually, this chapter
fair.
took me for frickin' ever to write because I kept trying to go back and write what I was trying to initially write until I eventually just said, "Fuck it, I'm tearing it all out and going dick."
Interesting. Well, I don't think it's a happy accident. I think that, I mean, you were obviously in a role, but this was too good. This was too well written for me to not point out what I think is pretty obvious, which is just your writing is improving, generally speaking. Certainly with your action sequences, I'm always happy to help when there's more nuanced stuff going on, but this was straightforward. The action was clear. The characters were good. The dialogue was strong. And all I want to do is keep reading. It was one of those chapters that I read. Oh, this was like riding a bike. It was so simple, and now I just want to see what happens next. So, should feel really good about this.
Okay, so in that case, couple questions for my next chapter then.
Okay.
Um, on the one hand, I'm considering just having Julius and Ramona, walk up to the Al Noon like they did in the script. On the other hand, I'm thinking of just opening the next chapter of Julius and Ramona more or less captured, basically, and go from there.
Hmm. Give me those two choices one more time.
The original script, which is sneak up on the Al Noon, open fire, get into a firefight, yada yada yada, big final bad scene. Alternatively, we open up and Julius and Ramona are already captured, and then well, here we go for again.
So long as it's not a repeat, like I would want to see the movie, or sorry, the movie. I'd want to see the story significantly like move forward and get us to the next thing that's happening. So that's not really an answer, but if I like the idea of Ramona and Julius trapped because it's a counterpoint to this chapter with Dick and a great answer to I hope you're faring better than I am, and then it turns out they're definitely not, which is ironic and funny. So long as what happens next is getting them closer to where they need to go next and whatever new things they need to discover. And really, here's what I love about where you're at with the story is that you've got two engines both firing very well. You get the story moving forward in terms of plot as they're trying to figure out what happened at the outpost and so on, but you've also got the relationships really simmering nicely between Ramona. You got character and relationships. These are no longer just characters in your story. Ramona and Julius and Dick now feel fully like real people, and the way they're talking with each other. So long as you keep that all feeling natural and real in a way that and I'll help you with that. That's a great place to be when you've got both the plot and the characters and relationships. Well, I care about these people. I don't want to see Ramona and Julius get hurt. Like in the beginning, they were just names on a page. Now I really care about them, and I want to make sure that I want to see them still kind of banter, but less. There's obviously less bantery. It's more like, okay, we're starting to become an actual team here, which surprises Julius. I wouldn't mind if they sort of took a pit stop at one point and maybe have Julius reflect on that. Like, wait a minute, how did this happen? And like, I hated you when we started this thing. Now we're actually working together. Some kind of self-reflection. But
Yeah,
other
I
than that,
might do
it's
that later, but not.
sure.
Yeah, I should also mention that when I say Julius and Ramona are captured, I'm talking like Julius more or less leads them to be captured, and then he quote unquote interrogates the bad guy, getting them to monologue before escaping.
Yeah, I would go with Ramona and Julius.
Getting captured or get just attacking the base.
Well, I think the only way I mean the captured thing only works for me if it's introducing something new. We've seen them up against the wall. We've seen them sort of not literally, but we've seen them sort of get cornered and all that kind of thing. Um, I would want a sort of a clearer idea of how you see, like, give me an idea. This the chapter would start how and end how.
Um, I haven't really 100% decided. Like, on one hand,
Okay,
they could be captured out in the woods. On the other hand, they could be captured. They could already be captured. But the main thing for Ramona is that she's paralyzed by fear because of the bugs. She's basically stuck in her
right.
own little panic circle from there. And Julius is more or less just biding his time, waiting for an escape.
Well, that would
And
be. Sorry to interrupt. Yeah.
yeah, no, never mind. What were you saying?
That would be the way to use, in my mind, a scene if they're captured, is that it's been so high action for quite a few chapters in a row now, which is great. First of all, the emotional pit stop is great. Cathartically, I kind of want to break at this point in the story, so that's always nice. But if they're captured, but I like when any action film does this and they use this again. I know you don't want to get into the real heart searching stuff yet, but this would be a moment where they're captured. It's like they don't see a way out, and it sort of is reflective of the fact that she is paralyzed by this fear with the bugs. He's been taking care of, she took care of him early, now he's been taking care of her. I kind of want to see them solve, for lack of a better term, it's a puzzle solving chapter, where it's sort of like, because we don't need more action, we kind of need a break from it. Capturing them, but without pushing the story forward, it would be kind of a bit redundant. But if they're in a situation where the only way they can escape is by her overcoming her fear, like,
No, that's not going to happen. This
that's not
is
going to happen. She's going to be in
like
that state for a while.
no, this is kind of like Julius's moment to shine because remember Julius can transmute matter, so
Okay, fair. Yeah,
cells aren't. He's also like immortal, so you can't really like contain him per se. When you can
sure.
literally turn his cage into air.
Then I would, yeah, give this entirely to Julius, where yeah, but it more of a still more of a puzzle solving thing where they hit some new level of understanding or some new level of teamwork, because that's what you're giving me. Each chapter is sort of showing them galvanizing more and more and more as a team to face, without you ever having to say we're galvanizing more as a team. Like you're showing that happening. You're even showing it happening in this chapter that we just read with Dick and Oak and Charlie. I feel like even though they're kind of like sometimes, and there's some, and he needs to, kick the shit out of them now and again. I can even see them kind of galvanizing, So it's that balancing act always between showing that they're human and can still like banter and like be idiots, but less and less because they need more and more to be that team that's really going to be able to rise to the challenge in the end. If that helps, does that help a
Yeah,
little bit?
yeah, that helps.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll be very, very excited to see what you do there, because to me,
Well, I think Chapter 17 is just going to go straight into the drafts folder for Royal Road, so I don't think we're going to review that again.
you
It's
don't need to. No, I don't.
turned
I
out
don't have any
seemingly
need to
perfect
see
this
that
time.
chapter again. This was the week where I went, yep, next. I didn't need to see anything more. I don't need to see your edits. I completely trust your judgment.
Okay. Yeah, I think I'll go with some variant of they're captured. Ramona's having bug problems. Julius tells her everything is okay,
Yeah,
and then Julius escapes with transmutation. And then I think the two big things I want to happen in the next chapter I want to show off is kind of Julius's inhuman nature. Like I want him to get like stabbed in the chest and just rip it out. And it's like, yeah, I'm gonna be fine. I'm gonna ignore the fact that my insides look like gemstones.
Yep. No, that's super cool. And I love the back and forth. I love the fact that sometimes she's being heroic, sometimes it's him, sometimes it's them. And that balancing act, I mean, you could almost not to make it too formulaic, you could almost follow that blueprint chapter after chapter and say, okay, it's his turn, okay, it's her turn, then it's their turn, now it's her turn, now it's like, not that you need to make
Technically,
that
that's what I've
happen.
been doing. If you notice,
Totally.
if
Yeah.
you notice, whose perspective I'm jumping in between, I'm basically switching them between chapters.
Yeah, it's working for me, man. And then to give Dick a chapter. I didn't see, I know you'd said it before, but I didn't know what you would do with a chapter that was just his. And I didn't know how, if I knew it would work, but I didn't know how it would work exactly. Totally wowed me. I thought, yep, perfect. That's exactly what is needed at this point. It was excellent. So yeah, I'll be excited. So it'll be chapter 18, probably Ramona and Julius captured, and
Yeah.
Julius shining.
I wonder if I should do it from Ramona or Julius's perspective. Like on the one hand, Ramona's perspective might work because she's kind of helpless and unsure. On the other hand, that's kind of going to be annoying to write that.
You might want to go more objective third person, because you did give us a chapter like when she was on the warpath, what, 2 chapters ago? I felt like I was seeing it from her perspective. And then the chapter after that was very much Julius's perspective. And then this one was kind of sort of from Dick's perspective, but really outside observer looking at everything. And you
I could
could
do
go,
the
yeah,
Aldoon's perspective.
yep.
That's always fun,
Ooh.
especially when it gets punched in the head and dies instantly.
Yep. You see if that works. That can work. I mean, I don't know if that, I don't know what to think of that. I'm kind of neutral about it, but yeah, you've got options because we just had a chapter with Dick from a third person point of view looking at what was happening. I felt like it was only partially sort of in him. I
Also,
felt
then
like
I
it
can
was,
give like a more objective, like third party review of Ramona and Julius and how they appear to a third party.
yeah, absolutely. You could also put, like, is it just them that get captured, or is it also one other soldier or something
Nope,
like that?
it's just them.
Okay, because I was going to say you could do it from that person's. Okay, yeah. I mean, it wouldn't hurt. It would. I mean, I don't know if it works. Even a third person would be funny to sort of observe the two of them and make his own observations. But no, keep it with them, and surprise me with what perspective it, because you have options.
Okay, yeah, I think that's definitely what I'm going to do for the next chapter. Aldoon
Okay.
perspective. Um, Also, that's a great introduction to the Alnoon as well, because we haven't technically done that.
And it's a great follow up to chapter 17, which is where we have that. Oh, you dare attack the Alnoon! Like the fact that we've just sort of had that with Dick, it feels almost natural that you
Yeah.
would dip into the Alnoon
So
perspective.
big three things in the next chapter: Julius's alien nature, the Alnoon, Ramona's fear of bugs.
Yeah, yeah, and I'll be curious to see what you're going to do with her, because I wouldn't want just a chapter of her being petrified and like suspended animation from the bugs. I mean, unless there's a reason why that would be a good. But I'm curious to see what you're going to do with her, if anything. That'll be fun too.
I think I'm gonna keep her in a state of like minor panic attack. Like she's not petrified, but she's it's like your kid like when they're staying over a really big ledge into a pool. It's like they're not petrified, but they're not actively going to jump in.
Yeah, that's a great comparison. That works.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I think that's everything. See
Yeah,
you next week then.
it was
Monday.
excellent. Yeah. Now I'm just going to look at next week.
Yeah.
We're getting into a bit of the crazy time because we're getting ready to move, but that looks like it should still work.
Okay.
See.
Don't worry too much. I've got my secondary book. I'm writing it mostly just to see how I do on Royal. Well, two reasons. One, Royal Road is very much a pay to win system. You want to be the best in Royal Road. You need to output chapters.
Mm-hmm.
And the second one is I want to see how well I can do without you. So those are the two things I'm doing in that book.
I love that. No,
Oh,
I highly recommend that.
yeah,
Could we do, as I'm looking at it, could we do this time next week again? Could we go 8:30 on Tuesday? Does that work
no
for you?
problem.
Okay, then I'm just going to change it right now. And we'll see you then. Good luck, Hayden. This was a wicked week. I can't wait to see what you
Will
do
do.
next week.
See you next week. Peace out.
Cheers.